From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Looking for a job? Well, you don't have to look far. I'm Annie Johnson with the full story coming up.
Plus, MSU says its Snowmester is a success, but what is it? To find out why it's yet another change, you can chalk up to the pandemic and learn how it's helping some students in just a couple of minutes. Well, good Tuesday morning, or Tuesday before Christmas, December 22nd. I'm Holly Brantley here with Matt Elwell, and we were talking about, are we going to have a white Christmas or not? But we might at least see some snow later
That's
today.
right. We're going to see some snow, probably not on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but this morning we are tracking the potential of that. Doesn't look like it looking at the temperature map. Temperatures into the 40s. But don't leave your house without that heavier coat today. We are tracking that snow. This is a live look at our satellite and radar imagery. Remember, we lose a lot of the coverage across southwest Montana, but we are watching that snow try to work its way across the area throughout the day. Probably by 8:30, 9 o'clock, we'll start seeing some scattered snow showers across the vast majority of the area, but we're not talking a lot of accumulation. Big drawbacks today, the potential of snow certainly, but look how quickly these temperatures are falling as you go into the afternoon. Along with that, anytime we see that abrupt change in temperatures, we're going to see some strong winds as well. We'll talk more in depth about that. Look at your Christmas Day and Christmas Eve forecast. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Matt. Well, as the world continues to navigate the pandemic, unemployment has proven to be an unfortunate effect. MTN's Annie Johnson tells us Bozeman seems to be seeing the opposite.
You don't have to live in Bozeman long to realize the job market here is constantly in need.
I haven't had an application in 6 months or longer. You can't even get anybody to come in the door to fill out an application.
They're all around Bozeman, now hiring or help wanted signs, hoping to pull in their next employee.
Oh, we're constantly looking for employees. Oh, yeah, it's a tough market out here.
And he's right, even the city currently has several openings.
Just with all of the growth that we have a need for streets operators, water sewer operators, folks to work in our parks department, building inspectors. So there's a lot of really cool opportunities that we have open right now.
Some positions aren't asking for specific skills, but there are some that do.
You know, I'm always looking for qualified employees, and right now the demand for work is high and the demand for employees is high, and we just can't find the qualified people to fit the bill at this point.
In fact, the job market here in Bozeman is in such need, employers are willing to pay almost double Montana's minimum wage just to get employees.
When the fast food restaurants starting out at $13.50 an hour, to get somebody to flip hamburgers versus busting down tires, you got to pay them a bit more to get them to work.
Much of the rest of the country is dealing with the opposite, not having enough jobs for people. So this resident believes Bozeman is fortunate to have this problem.
We're very fortunate to live here in a growing, thriving economy, and anybody who wants to work really can work.
The urgent need doesn't just stop at tire shops. Almost every field is looking to hire, from fast food places to working for the city. Reporting in Bozeman, Annie Johnson, MTN News.
Now, MTN News reached out to the Montana Department of Labor and Industry Office to get unemployment numbers for the city of Bozeman and have not heard back yet. Well, another round of stimulus checks are set to be mailed out as Congress finalizes a $900 billion economic relief package later today. A final vote is expected tonight. So how can you determine how much you'll get? Our Joe St. George is in Washington to explain.
How much you'll receive in your stimulus check depends on a lot of factors, but the short version is this.
Well, if you make $75,000 a year or less, you'll get a stimulus check for $600. If you make less than $87,000 a year, you'll get a check for something less than $600 as it's gradually reduced the more you make. You'll get nothing if you make more than that. Similar rules apply for couples who file their taxes jointly. If you're married and your combined income is $150,000 a year or less, you'll receive $1,200. If you are married and making less than $174,000 a year, you'll get less than $1,200, but something. Each dependent, such as a child, will earn you An extra $600 though.
Now remember, the government bases your income off of your 2019 tax information. The last time stimulus checks were handed out, millions of Americans hadn't filed their latest tax return information yet, so it was based on 2018 returns. Since the IRS has now received an update, if your child has had a birthday or perhaps you got a raise at work, your stimulus check will reflect that. And the Treasury Secretary has already said he'll begin depositing checks within the next week. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
Well, Montana's two U.S. Senators Steve Daines and Jon Tester are both supporting the massive COVID-19 relief package, which is now awaiting the president's signature. They say it has many things that will benefit the state, including help for workers, businesses, farmers, and hospitals, among others. Daines, a Republican, said targeted COVID-19 relief for Montana small businesses, workers, families, healthcare workers, and hospitals, farmers and ranchers, and billions of dollars for vaccine distribution is on its way. Glad to see a bipartisan compromise finally reached to help support Montana's impacted by the pandemic. Tester, a Democrat, had this to say: "No one got everything they wanted in this package, but it's a bipartisan compromise that provides targeted support for Montana small businesses and folks who lost their job through no fault of their own, and it will help get vaccines to rural folks in rural America quickly and effectively." Daines highlighted the $900 billion bill's aid to businesses, including potential aid to nonprofits, money for live entertainment and theater businesses, and tax relief for craft breweries and distilleries. Tester pointed to its funding to help ID places that need federal funding for rural broadband and money for Amtrak and rental assistance. Well, just a few days until Christmas, but it's not too late to order gifts online. Retailers are offering expedited shipping, or maybe you're waiting for something you've already ordered. But be careful when tracking packages. All online shoppers could be targets of our 12th and final scam of Christmas: fake shipping notifications.
Around this time of year, our inboxes are flooded. Between the store ads and last-minute offers are shipping notifications from something you've ordered or something someone else has sent you. But don't be too quick to click on the tracking links.
They cast out that net, you click on that email, and a scammer is going to be able to load malware into your computer because you've connected with them.
This is just one of the many fake shipping notifications making it into people's inboxes. The UPS logo is there, but the website is off. Without clicking on it, you can see that it'll take you to shippingupdate.net, not ups.com.
Scammers get into your computer, and it doesn't mean all of a sudden that moment your computer is going to be down because the malware went into your computer. You have to remember, sometimes they have time release, like medication. That time release means you won't see it until a period of time after the scammer has been able to capture your keystrokes.
Keystrokes that can reveal your passwords to banking sites and email accounts. UPS has dedicated a page on their site to warn customers about fraudulent emails, saying these emails have become more common and appear legitimate. To avoid confusion, try to be organized. When you order something online, keep the tracking number. Know what service will be delivering your shipment and its estimated delivery date, or if you think the notification is from a friend or family member, pick up the phone.
So if you get an email and you think, I've been really good, my grandmother's sending me something, call grandmom and just verify with them, because the one thing you want to do is protect yourself at this time of year.
Well, with these emails and any other suspicious emails, hover over the links to see the URL addresses. Now, delete fake emails. If you've accidentally clicked on the link, run a virus scan immediately. And to avoid any questions, just go directly to the shipping carrier's website and track your package there. Well, Montana State University announced the first winter semester offered on campus exceeded expectations, with just under 2,000 students enrolling for courses. The COVID-19 pandemic caused some scheduling changes this year, giving students a longer winter break or the option of enrolling in classes for the snowmester. The majority of courses offered are online and ranging from STEM-filled to the arts, humanities, and social sciences. The snowmester allows for students to catch up, get ahead, or stay on top of their studies, and is another example of how the university continues to adapt.
Every time the pandemic seems to give us a challenge, we try our best to meet it. And that's been a goal the whole way through. It was the goal with fall. We had a lot of adaptations to keep our students and faculty and staff as safe as possible, and that continues on.
Becker says it's too early to tell if the snowmaster will become an option in years to come, but says faculty and students are appreciative for the opportunity to take advantage of the extended break. The snowmaster runs from November 30th to January 8th. Well, coming up in this pandemic year, some college students are taking a gap for a semester or two, but that doesn't mean the learning is over. Coming up, see how some students are teaching others instead. But first, here's a look at what's ahead at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar joins us. We'll discuss his concern over the new coronavirus strain, the impact on vaccines and their distribution, and a potential travel ban with Britain. Also, a CBS News investigation reveals disturbing safety questions about a type of gear shifter found in many popular car models. Why one family says it led to a deadly rollaway accident. And the NBA tips off a new season tonight. Hear how Commissioner Adam Silver hopes to make it through the season with teams playing their games outside of a bubble. See you at 7.